All right, well, new week, and just getting your team ready for the next game and make another trip out east. And so guys are excited to play better and see if we can get that done this week. But some good film review and some good corrections, and just excited to kind of move on to the next one after last week's performance. So, any questions?
What did you learn about the defense? And obviously, you weren't very happy with the defensive performance. What did you learn there, looking back at it?
Yeah, after looking at the film, I think there are a lot of probably breakdowns in technique more than anything. But have to be a little careful because you can't just make one comment and have it cover all 11 players. And I think when we have a lot of new bodies in there, and it's just you're kind of limited to what you know. They tested our depth, and we had a lot of plays in the first half, and that's just we just have to play a lot better. I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to Mississippi State. And, they made plays. They broke tackles. The quarterback ran the ball really well, and we just did not make enough plays. And third downs cost us quite a bit, and so that's on the defense. If they want to get out of drives and not play so many plays, you got to get out of third downs, and that was somewhat disappointing when we had good opportunities from third and mid distance, third and long that we couldn't get out of. So, but I keep working on executing and making sure that our guys, Simon Sound, they played hard and the effort was there. Just didn't make enough plays, and we had to kind of revisit what we're going to do this week and how we want to approach this game.
In general, they've been good at preventing the big chunk plays. There are a few that Mississippi State got, but in general, they've been good at keeping things in front of them. But teams have seemed to be able to get 5, 6, 7, make some easy passes, and just move the ball. Why are they being able to do that so successfully?
Well, I mean, I think Fitzgerald made some really good throws, and the coverage was there. And I think he had one big throw to, I think Troy was in coverage, but it's never going to be perfect, but we need to create more disruption and try to get more pass rush. And there are times that we brought some pressure, and I think when we got to him a little bit, he threw the air and throws, and that's what caused the interception. So we had two interceptions that went to Diane, and that's off of getting a little bit of pressure and getting in his face a little bit. And so if we want to see more productivity defensively, we got to create more disruption, especially when they drop back pass. And they really didn't have to. They could have ran the ball as much as they wanted to, but I thought we need to be more sound and get more pressure on the quarterback.
Kalani, you've been really careful not to use the injuries as an excuse, and you've said that every interview, no excuses. But do you have a number on how many guys have missed games in the two deep?
Do you have that number?
I could get it to you. I think it's like two deep guys is just like 23 or so, 23, 24.
22.
22?
22 of the two deep and 12 of projected starters.
You preached that depth. The depth wasn't quite there even going into the season. Is that kind of the
so it's not the player's fault, so when you're practicing, you're only afforded so much time, so many reps, and so when you don't have the guys that have practiced all the looks, it's difficult, especially when you're going with your threes. I mean, in practice, I think most coaches will say that the ones and twos get a lot of reps, but when you kind of go into positions where you have to move guys to different positions to work it, but yeah, it's not an excuse. We just need to. I think it limits you a little bit in what you can do because you're not going into the stuff that you did all camp and all spring ball, and you'll have some mistakes along the way, but that's our job as coaches, to find ways to get the best guys, the best 11 on the field, and make sure that they're doing their job effectively so we can get off the field on defense and so we can score points on offense. So yeah, it's part of college football, and we just have to adjust, and it's a great opportunity for our other players to step up and take advantage of their chance to show what they can do on the field.
Neil just told us that Ty kind of laid into him today. What's the right temperament for a coach when a team's struggling like you guys are, losing 6 straight?
Oh, well, I think sometimes the truth is the most important thing, right? And so and then how you deliver it isn't really, when you gain the trust of your players, you have a great relationship. I don't think it matters how you say it as long as it's honest and it's true. And so I think that's part of teaching. Sometimes you have to be a little loud. Sometimes you have to get on people, and if you want to get things to change. And but I think teaching is the most important part, and being real, but also being understanding is important for us. And yeah, I think we're all on the same page where we need stuff to happen right away, and that's from the players and the coaches, and that's everyone involved. So I'm okay with it as long as it's a good communication and people respect each other, you know. So I feel like we have a good relationship with our players, and they feel that they can talk to us and be open with us, and that's part of coaching. And I feel like we have a good dynamic. So we just need to put more production on the field.
What was your message to the offensive side of the football in terms of what you would expect to get done this week offensively?
Well, I just asked them to keep giving max effort and keep believing and working with what we have, and just told the coaches to do their job. You know, the players are working hard, and they're doing everything that we're asking them to. So we just need to find ways as a coaching staff, me as the head coach first, and find ways to make sure that we can get in the end zone. So.
What do you make of the schedule and the travel, and will that be a kind of a different kind of obstacle to overcome going back to the East Coast?
Oh, you mean this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever we go 2 time zones away, we try to go a couple days early. So we'll leave on Thursday and get ready for the game. It's a Saturday night game, which will be fun. I mean, it won't be as hot, so but we'll get to go see our fans out in that area, and very appreciative that we had great fans in the Mississippi State game that were there. And, it's nice to see our fans at different places of the country. So looking forward to that, and having our guys regroup and go out a day early might be good for us.
Did you watch the Utah-USC game by chance?
I caught the last part of it, yeah.
Okay, so my question is, what went through your mind when you saw Kyle go for 2?
Awesome.
Deja vu.
Yeah. I understand what he was trying to do. So, I mean, it's easy to critique other coaches and other football programs, you know, and you like to sit there and tell Green Bay, like, you can't get your quarterback hurt. But it's like, you know, it's one of those things where I love football, so whether I was coach or not, I'd be watching as much as I can. I feel like I'm a football junkie, and I always try to see and I understand where coaches come with their decisions and how they use different personnel. And from what I see, it's all good stuff, so I don't have a problem with any of that. And he's aggressive, wants to win, and that's, yeah. You know, I don't ever second guess a lot of things. I probably do what other people do. I do a lot for what I do, and that's how I try to learn. But yeah, you can learn a lot from other people's stuff too. So
A lot of work for Braden Albacre in this last game, and his brother Bracken, I think, was in as well. Can you address the running back situation? And was that because of injuries? Was that because you were just looking for some ball security? What was that?
yeah, Squally wasn't able to go last week, and we had some unfortunate injuries that happened last week. You know, so he wasn't able to go, and we needed to have a presence that we thought could handle the ball. And we thought that Mississippi State would struggle with a little bit of big backs, you know, and but yeah, we're still working with our guys. I mean, looking at the position, probably trying to get Riley Burton involved a little bit more, and we just have to get more plays. You know, I think it was 46 plays, so second game of the year that we were under 50 plays, and you can't really use a lot of the guys that you want to if you're not generating more production, getting first downs, and keeping drives alive. And so you really have a hard time trying when you're hoping for 70, you know, and it takes a third of what you're trying to do on the field, with even personnel.
How did you evaluate Mangum's performance, and is his ankle healing up all right?
His ankle is way better today than it was even last week, and so, yeah, I think that helps. That help him, especially in his technique with his footwork and delivering the ball, and a lot of stuff that we can do with him in the pocket. So, yeah, he's made better decisions this game. You know, we just overall as an offense, you look at the numbers, it wasn't good enough, but there's a lot of things that we need to do differently as a team, and that's my job. And defensively, we weren't good enough, and you know, special teams, I thought we're okay. We would try to get another return before the half, you know, and try to generate with a 5-yard penalty, and and try to give Jonah another chance. But we have to just keep working and getting our identity developed in mid-season. We need to have that happen, and no excuses in the way. We just have to find a way to do what we're good at, and then make sure that it shows up on Saturday.
You guys have played, most of the teams you've played have been good or really good in this losing streak. You're now facing a team that's also struggled this year. Does that aid the mentality just as far as moving forward? I mean, you guys won't play another game, of course, but at least knowing this isn't a team that's been in the top 25 that you're going up against.
No, I don't. I mean, that's not. The focus is still on what we can do. I mean, if you look at on the teams that we played so far this year, we really have not played a complete game as a team, you know, and where I feel like, hey, that was really good in all three phases, and so it doesn't really matter who the opponent is. We just need to find a way to play that, and that's my frustration, and that's my job. So that's, as head coach, that's what I got to do. I got to make sure that we can function on all three phases, special teams, defense, and offense, and be good at it. And it's it's sad to say that mid-season, but it has to happen this week. And yeah, so that's pretty much what it comes down to.
Any other questions?
Are you consulting any of your friends with this streak going on? Maybe Gary Anderson or Kyle? Are you reaching outside at all, or are you kind of?
I mean, so there's been a lot of people that have reached out to me, and coaches, and Andy Reid's been a good mentor to me, you know, since Lavelle's passed. I think he's kind of filled that role a little bit, and so there's a lot of guys out there that have been giving me good words of encouragement. Norm Chow and others that are around, you know, and I always have Kyle and Gary to go to, but this is one of those things where you can get advice from a lot of people, but then it could come really quickly, all the advice that you get, and I have to filter out what's more effective and what we're dealing with, you know, because from an outsider's perspective, they can see what we're trying to establish, and maybe their perspective isn't the same, you know. So we're dealing with some different things that are quite unique here, and they're not excuses. They're just adjustments that we have to make, whether they're personnel or scheme or whatever it is.
You put a lot on yourself and your staff to make things turn around and change.
Mm-hmm.
How do you I mean, I know you're tight with these group of guys as individuals, but at some point production has to be the hallmark of, you know, whether they stay or go. That's just the coaching profession. How do you kind of evaluate their performance and your thought process as far as the program goes, or do you not look too much at that until the end of the season?
No, we're always evaluating. So it's because we're friends. I mean, everywhere I've worked, I've been friends with people, you know. So business is business, and put it on the coaches because the players give us all their effort. They give us everything they have. And so, although I get frustrated a lot of the players and some of the things that happen, it's not because of lack of effort or because they haven't bought in or because they don't believe in what we're doing. It's just, you know, that's why I always go back to the coaches first, and they're big boys. They can handle it, you know. So it's whether I'm friendly or not, the bottom line is production and getting the job done, you know. And they're all my guys. I love them all, you know. But it's okay. We can criticize each other. I'm open to it as a head coach too. So that's something that we should be able to share. Be humble enough to accept it. And that it's been that way. So everything's always evaluated in the program, and I do a lot of self-evaluation. I'm open to criticism and open to positive things, and I'm okay with it. You know, that's part of growth, and we just have to grow real quick right now, and then to see some more production, and not to put any pressure on anyone. We just need to do what I know we're capable of as a team. And I think once we get that going, I think it will get the ball rolling a little bit.
What do you expect from East Carolina this week?
Well, they're athletic. You watch on film, I think they played Virginia Tech pretty well. I mean, they can score some points, and then they got some speed. So you respect them and their ability quite a bit, you know, with what they can do on the field, and that's how we have to approach it. No, I don't look at records and anything but personnel and talent, what I see on the field. So I can see what they're trying to establish as an identity, and they're kind of in the same position that we are, you know. So someone's going to win on Saturday, and then it's whoever's going to make the most improvement this week, and who can establish what their strengths are on Saturday night. And they're going to have the same issues as we are, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.